Bergen-Fischer Media.
Hey, it's Monday, here we go. It's the Call Me Tony Show.
Hey guys, today is Monday, July 21st, 2025. I almost said 2021. I guess I'm in a bit of a weirdly emotional place. I've been sitting with something for a while that's been bothering me, and that is that there is a rumor that my brother is dead. No obituary, no announcement, no phone call from anyone who would have known for sure. Just a passing comment from somebody I know. Not a close friend, but, not a stranger either. It's someone I trust to say what they believe to be true. And they brought it up like it was already common knowledge. Like, probably like I had already heard the news, but I hadn't. And when I asked for more, all I got was, that's just what I was told. So now I'm left with silence. And that silence, just like the rumor, feels familiar. It's a void where some sort of clarity should be. My brother's name is Mark. We didn't grow up together, but I've known him as long as I've had memories. He was part of my childhood, even if he wasn't always present. I knew I had a brother. I knew his name. I knew his face. I knew that he was 6'7". I knew he was older than me. I knew that he had a wife. I didn't understand why he came and went, why he wasn't always around, but I never doubted that he existed. The truth of him existing was undeniable, even when his presence was occasional. He was raised by our grandparents. Our mother had him when she was still a teenager, and when she married my father, she left Mark behind and started over. I didn't know until I was about 10 or 11 years old that he and I had different fathers. It wasn't something that had ever been openly discussed. It just came up, I guess, the truth of it, as most family secrets do, casually, indirectly, like everyone thought I should have already known. And in my family, this is how hidden histories reveal themselves, not with a big bang, but with a quiet, unsettling shift in the ways that things are discussed. And this detail, it kind of changed the shape of everything that I thought I had understood. Later on in life, Mark and I had periods of connection. I mean, he'd show up out of the blue, this time for good. And sometimes he'd be around for a few weeks, sometimes longer. And during those windows, we'd talk, we'd joke, we'd fall into a rhythm that felt completely natural, the kind of rhythm that made me believe that I could have a brother for real. We look alike, we sound alike. Our sense of humor is almost identical, dry, dark, self-aware. We don't share a father, but we share something else, something that I think is harder to define, but obviously there. Something that comes from nature more so than nurture. There were stretches where it felt like we could even be close. Maybe we could have the kind of bond that people talk about when they talk about siblings, but every time things started to feel solid, the ground shifted again. He'd disappear. And sometimes it was distant, sometimes it was conflict. Most often, though, it was silence that nobody wanted to be the first to break. A silence that held all of the unsaid words and all of the unresolved family bullshit. The last time we spoke, he told me not to contact him again. Not him, not his wife, not his kids. He said that until our mother was ready to make peace with him, he didn't have a brother. This was his truth, conditional and absolute, demanding a resolution that I couldn't provide. And at the time, I still had a relationship with our mother, but he didn't know how complicated it was, how emotionally unpredictable she could be, how I often found myself navigating around her moods, her coldness, her sudden intensity. He didn't know that I sometimes left her house feeling worse than when I'd arrived, that even when she offered love, it came wrapped up in the insecurity of knowing that she'd already let go of one son. From the outside, I probably looked like the one that she kept, the one that she raised, the one that she chose, but inside, I didn't feel chosen. I felt tolerated. I felt measured, like I was always falling just short of whatever version of me she needed. But he didn't know that. And he didn't give me a chance to tell him. I couldn't tell him how hard I tried to stay connected to her, even when it cost me my own peace, or how long I held on to the idea that she would change, that she would turn and finally see me clearly. Maybe I was still hoping to earn something from her, something that I couldn't name at the time. And that is validation that was always just out of reach. To Mark, I was just a reminder of what he had been denied, and maybe that was all I could ever be in his eyes, a symbol of his unresolved past. I didn't argue when he told me to stay away. I didn't defend myself. I didn't explain. I just let him close the door. Part of me hoped that it wasn't locked, that maybe someday things would settle, that time might give us both the distance we needed to look at each other without the emotional weight of our mother standing between us. And I hated that any hope of our reconciliation depended on things that were so far beyond my control. And now that I've heard that he might be gone, I don't know what to do with that because no one has confirmed it. No one from inside his circle has reached out. No one has said, I thought you should know. I've tried searching, and there's no record of his death that I can find. There's no obituary, there's no mention in local newspapers, nothing on social media, not from him and not from his family. I mean, he wasn't someone who left a big digital footprint. He stayed private, quiet, just removed. And that makes this even harder because I'm not grieving someone that I know is gone. I'm grieving the possibility that I might not never know for sure. It's a cloudy state of loss where knowing isn't possible and closure is not likely. It's it's a strange kind of mourning. It's not a sharp pain, but it's like a dull, unfinished ache, like standing in a hallway with all the doors closed and no idea if anyone's still inside. It's grief put on pause by the unconfirmed, mixed with the loss of a relationship that was doomed before I was even born. If he's gone, like really gone, I won't be notified. I won't be invited. There won't be a call or a message or a line in a program that says survived by his brother because, as far as he was concerned, he didn't have one. But I did. I had a brother. Not a perfect one, not a constant one, but a brother who shared my blood, my humor, my voice. a brother who I looked at and saw myself, a brother I wish I could have known without all of the family stuff in the way. I keep thinking about the moments we had, the quick laughs, the sarcastic nods, the wordless agreement that passed between us when someone said something ridiculous and we both caught it at the same time. Those flashes, they meant something to me. I don't know if they meant anything to him, and I guess I'll never know because he might be gone. And if he is, I hope his final days were free from the weight of all the stuff he carried. I hope that he had people near him who understood at least part of his story. I hope he found peace, real peace, not just distance, but the kind of true peace that's not found in separation, but in finally healing. I hope, even though I never got to say it, that some part of him knew that I never stopped being his brother, even when he stopped calling me one.